First, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, good evening to you. A nice and calm day across central Illinois. We had temperatures that struggled a bit with readings that only made it into the 40s today, but it is nice and quiet out there in our roofing dog, INET Bratcher weather camera. Okay, let's take a look at the satellite picture here. We actually did have a few clouds that were moving in here at sunset that some of you may have noticed. I got a bunch of pictures that you guys have sent in of that sunset tonight. Some beautiful shots. But boy, is the temperature falling once again. We're down to 37 in Champaign, 39 in Springfield, and 38 in Effingham. So as we go throughout the rest of tonight, we're going to be down to the 20s before too long. I think by 11 o'clock, we may be down to those upper 20s. But there's some nice warmth headed our way later this week. We'll show you that and how winds once again will be ruling the weather story. We'll talk about it when we come back. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
The governor is cracking down. What restrictions are set to go into effect this Friday? Plus, it was an arrest that was caught on camera, what police have now admitted as a violation of their policy.
And some say it's their right not to wear a mask, where not wearing one will get you fined.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
Folks, this is not a time to be out and about.
Governor Pritzker stopped just short of ordering people to stay home and announced new coronavirus restrictions statewide. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons in for Jennifer. Starting Friday, the entire state will see new capacity limits on businesses, and state health officials are urging people to work from home if they can. WCIA 3's Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell is live in Springfield. Mark, a lot has changed since a stay-at-home order was announced 8 months ago.
Jessica, good evening. Governor Pritzker has said for months now that decision to implement that statewide order to stay home saved thousands of lives. But this time, despite those rising numbers of new infections, people sick in the hospital, and new numbers of people dying with COVID-19, the governor is not going nearly as far. He's going about halfway here compared to what he did back in March. You might call it lockdown light. In this case, Governor Pritzker, instead of issuing that statewide order to stay home, is asking people to work from home if you can. Only go out if you must. And he is setting tighter capacity limits on businesses and gatherings right before the time of year when many Americans love to go out and shop or meet up at home for holiday parties.
Tier 3 boils down to this. If you don't need to do it, don't. That is especially true when it comes to gathering with people outside your household, because the terrible truth is that getting together with people in this way is exactly how the virus spreads. To stop the spread and preserve our December holidays, all of us need to do more than just wear our masks.
And what if people don't go along? State medical experts predict these rules going into effect Friday could save somewhere between 17,000 and 45,000 lives in Illinois between now and March 1st. That's why Governor Pritzker is asking local police and city governments to enforce these rules. The rules that would go in effect could carry a fine of up to $2,500 for businesses who decline to follow them. Some critics, including a small number of downstate Republicans, have argued Governor Pritzker doesn't have the legal authority to enforce these rules, but a string of recent court decisions, judges have upheld the governor's emergency powers, saying, in fact, he does have that authority. But the governor still knows that this fight against COVID-19 won't be won in a court of law, but rather the court of public opinion. That's why he's appealing to everyone to do what they can, as much as they can, to reduce their gatherings, the limits there, the sizes, to wash their hands, and to keep wearing a mask. Reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
And certainly a lot of opinions about these new mitigations, Mark. Thank you so much. Another person has died from COVID-19 in Champaign County. A man in his 60s became the 40th death in the county. Statewide, 97 more people died. Several of those are in Coles, Iroquois, Macon, Sangamon, and Vermilion counties. Illinois has now lost more than 10,800 people. There are more than 12,000 new cases. That's more than 597,000 total. The state's 7-day positivity rate now stands at 14.5%. Monticello schools are the latest to go all remote. The superintendent announced the district will make this shift tomorrow. That'll run through at least December 4th. Vic Zimmerman says they've had 19 coronavirus cases among students and teachers since October 30th. Decatur schools also announced today that virtual learning will continue through at least January 15th there. The Macon County Health Department had requested all county schools shift to virtual learning through that date.
Here's a follow-up now. It was a moment some felt would never come. Urbana police admitted they should have acted differently during the arrest of Aaliyah Lewis. She and her boyfriend were arrested in April after police responded to a call about gunfire. An Urbana police officer hit Lewis during that arrest. That moment's been a topic of controversy ever since. Many believe police were too rough with her. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting joins us now. So, Courtney, what exactly are they saying officers did wrong?
Well, Paul, Chief Bryant Serafin says one of the officers arresting Lewis didn't have his gun's safety on. For those who don't know, when the safety is on, it stops the gun from firing, even when you pull the trigger. When it's not, the gun can easily be accidentally fired, which puts everyone nearby at risk.
That was not exactly how it was supposed to go.
Which is what many have been saying since the moment Aaliyah Lewis was arrested. But recently, in a use of force policy listening session, Urbana Police Chief Bryant Serafin explained things should have been handled differently.
That matter was taken seriously. It was referred to his supervisor for an investigation. The safety was in the wrong position, and it was a violation of policy, and it has been addressed by his supervisor.
That admission is a victory for some. The arrest had already been reviewed by both the Urbana Police Department and a Chicago law firm. The firm returned suggestions for improvement, but never indicated anything was done improperly.
We can see from the video that someone could have easily been hurt or killed.
Jane McClintock is a member of Showing Up for Racial Justice. She watched the body cam video of the arrest and noticed Officer Eric Ruff had his gun's safety lock off.
So when the gun was swinging around on Officer Ruff and he was struggling and on top of Aaliyah, and there were many officers in that skirmish, the gun was in the fire position. Serious bodily harm and even death could have occurred in that totally unnecessary altercation that was instigated by the Urbana Police Department.
But she says the fact that Serafin is at least saying this was a policy violation means they're headed in the right direction.
I really appreciate that Serafin, it brought it up, acknowledged it, and took it seriously. I hope that it's a first step towards better policies, better accountability, and some training and support for officers so that they aren't putting themselves and their colleagues in this kind of risk, and for that matter, our community members.
Serafin explained a supervisor would be addressing the situation with the officer who had the gun. He wouldn't, though, go into detail about what's being done by that supervisor, saying that it was a personnel matter. I reached out to Urbana Mayor Diane Marlin, but she didn't want to comment about this situation. Live in the newsroom, Courtney Bunting, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, if you learn any more, Courtney, of course, let us know. Thanks. Lewis is charged with battering a peace officer. We told you about that independent firm that reviewed the arrest. They didn't find any wrongdoing, but they did say some officers gave directions that could be confusing, and some of the language they used may be, quote, viewed as patronizing or unprofessional. A man in Urbana was back in court today after being accused of soliciting children for sex acts. A 20-year-old, Joseph Sloan, pleaded not guilty. He's charged with indecent solicitation, aggravated criminal sexual abuse, and predatory aggravated sexual assault. Urbana police say the victims are relatives. Police in Calumet City and Cook County reached out to Urbana to start investigating after Sloan moved to central Illinois. They say there are possibly several victims between the two cities, all relatives, and they're still interviewing potential victims. Sloan will be back in court next month.
Decatur police are on the lookout for a car connected to a deadly shooting. Police say the vehicle is a Pontiac Grand Prix dated between 2004 and 2008. It has tinted windows, as you can see there. Police say the driver of that car shot and killed a 63-year-old man. This happened Saturday at a liquor store in Decatur near the corner of North Calhoun and East Brand Avenue. A man faces more than half a dozen charges after police say he waved a loaded gun at an Urbana hotel. This happened early Monday morning at the Eastland Suites on Cunningham Avenue. Police say 22-year-old Elijah Bond pulled a loaded gun on 3 people, using it at one point to stop one of the victims from moving away. One of them even jumped out of a window to get away. Officers found the suspect in the parking lot. When they asked about what happened, they say he reached for his pocket where the officers saw he had a gun. They were able to get it away from him. They say Bond was drunk. They are still investigating what started all of that.
Mask requirements aren't new, where you may have to pay if you don't put one on.
Also tonight, cases of COVID-19 have jumped, where boys and girls are paying the price for it.
Kevin is starting to feel a little better outside in terms of the temperature, but the wind, right?
Yeah, the wind's going to be coming back here as we head throughout the next few days. We got to get ready for that. After a day where the high temperature only made it to the mid-40s, 45 in Champaign. That is 5 degrees below normal. But we're going to really kind of go on the flip side of that with our temperatures here later this week, and you may actually like that. So when we come back, we'll talk about the warmer temperatures, but how we've got some of that rain and the wind when we come back.